araw! Sa Diyos ang pasasalamat para sa isa na namang napakabuting araw at sa pagkakataon para matuto. Ako si Teacher Royce at hayaan nyo na gabayan kayo na gawin natin ang math ay maging madali lang. Simulan na natin. Ang pag-uusapan natin ngayong araw ay ang tungkol sa solving rational equations and inequalities. Here are our objectives. Apply appropriate methods in solving rational algebraic expressions and inequalities. Solve rational equations and inequalities using algebraic techniques for simplifying and manipulating expressions. And determine whether the solutions found are acceptable for the problem by checking the solutions. Diretso na tayo sa example number 1. Let us solve the equation x minus 3 all over x squared minus 25 plus 1 over x plus 5 equals 1 over x minus 5. We will solve for the possible values of x that will satisfy the equation. Gawin na natin. First, we need to look for the least common denominator. And to do that, factor muna natin ang x squared minus 25 para mas madali nating makita ang least common denominator or the LCD. Factoring x squared minus 25, we will have the quantity x minus 5 times the quantity x plus 5. Ngayon, mas kita na natin kung ano ang LCD. So, the LCD will be the product of x minus 5 times the quantity x plus 5. Now, we can multiply the LCD to both sides of the equation. Getting the product, we will have x minus 3 plus x minus 5 equals x plus 5. Multiplying the LCD by x minus 3 all over the quantity x minus 5 times x plus 5, the denominator and the LCD will be reduced to lowest term, and that is equal to 1. Multiplied by the numerator, we will have x minus 3. And multiplying the LCD by 1 over x plus 5, the denominator x plus 5 and x plus 5 in the LCD will be reduced to lowest term, and that is equal to 1 times x minus 5 times the numerator 1. So we will have plus x minus 5. And last, the LCD multiplied by 1 over x minus 5, the denominator x minus 5 and x minus 5 in the LCD will be reduced to lowest term, and that is equal to 1 times x plus 5 times 1 in the numerator. We will have x plus 5. Next, we will add the additive inverse of x plus 5 to both sides of the equation. After that, we will combine like terms. So the right side of the equation will be equal to 0. X minus x, 0. 5 minus 5, is equal to 0. Then the left side of the equation, we will have x minus 13. X plus x minus x is x. Negative 3 plus negative 5 minus 5 is negative 13. So we have x minus 13 equal to 0. Now we solve for x by adding the additive inverse of negative 13 to both sides of the equation. We will have x equals 13. So 13 is the value of x that will satisfy the equation. Let us verify by checking. Tingnan natin kung tama nga na 13 ang value ng x that will satisfy the equation. Gawin natin ngayon ang checking. Let us find out if indeed 13 is the value of x that will satisfy the equation. So to do that, we will substitute the value of x, which is 13, to all x in the equation. Now we substitute. We get 13 minus 3 all over 13 squared minus 25 plus 1 over 13 plus 5 equals 1 over 13 minus 5. Now we evaluate. We get 10 over 169 minus 25 plus 1 over 18 equals 1 over 8. To continue, we will get 10 over 144 plus 1 over 18 equals 1 over 8. Reducing 10 over 144 to lowest term, we get 5 over 72 plus 1 over 18 equals 1 over 8. We now get the sum of 5 over 72 plus 1 over 18 by getting the LCD, that is 72, divided by the first denominator 72 times the numerator 5. So the quotient of 72 divided by 72 is 1 times 5 is 5. Then we copy the operation plus and we repeat the process. 72 divided by 18, that is 4 times the numerator 1, so we have 4. Then we get the sum of 5 and 4. We will obtain 9 over 72 equals 1 over 8. And reducing 9 over 72 to lowest term, we will get 1 over 8. And that is equal to 1 over 8. So we have verified that indeed 13 is the value of x that will satisfy the equation. Our solution set is the set that contain 13. Sana nasundan ang proseso at naunawaan. Ngayon, example number 2 naman. We solve the equation 2x over x minus 1 plus 5 over 2x equals 2. Now, let us find the LCD. So, kita na agad natin kung ano ang LCD ng equation. That is the product of x plus 1 times 2x and 1, which is the denominator of the integer 2. Now we are going to multiply the LCD to both sides of the equation. Then let us get now the product. We will obtain 2x times the quantity 2x plus 5 times the quantity x plus 1 equals 2 times the quantity x plus 1 times 2x. The LCD multiplied by 2x over x plus 1. The denominator x plus 1 and x plus 1 in the LCD will be reduced to lowest term, and that is equal to 1 times 2x and times the numerator 2x. So we have the product of 2x times 2x. Next, the LCD multiplied by 5 over 2x. 2x in the denominator and 2x in the LCD will be reduced to lowest term, and that is equal to 1 times x plus 1 times the numerator 5. So we have 5 times the quantity x plus 1. Then finally, the LCD multiplied by 2, and we will have 2 times the quantity x plus 1 times 2x. Now we get the product. 2x times 2x is 4x plus 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 1 is 5. And that is equal to 2 times x is 2x times 2x is 4x squared. And 2 times 1 times 2x is 4x. And now we add the additive inverse of 4x squared and 4x to both sides of the equation. Then we combine like terms. The right side of the equation will be equal to 0. 4x squared minus 4x squared is 0. 4x minus 4x is 0. And the left side, we will get x plus 5. 4x squared minus 4x squared is 0. 5x minus 4x is x. Then we will just copy 5. So we obtain x plus 5 equals 0. Then solve for x by adding the additive inverse of 5 to both sides of the equation. We will get x equals negative 5. So that is the value of x that will satisfy the equation. Let us verify our answer. Let us check if negative 5 is the value of x that will satisfy the equation. Again, we will do that by substitution. We replace all x in the equation by negative 5. Now we substitute 5 to all x in the equation. We will get 2 times negative 5 over negative 5 plus 1 plus 5 over 2 times negative 5 equals 2. Next, we will obtain negative 10 over negative 4 plus 5 over negative 10 equals 2. Reducing negative 10 over negative 4 to lowest term, we will get 5 over 2 plus reducing 5 over negative 10 to lowest term, we will get negative 1 over 2. And that is equal to 2. Next, we get the sum of 5 over 2 plus negative 1 over 2. And we will get 5 plus negative 1 all over 2 equals 2. We will obtain the sum of 4 over 2 or 2 over 1, which is also equal to 2. So we have verified that indeed negative 5 is the value of x that will satisfy the equation. And for our solution set is the set that contain negative 5. Sana ay mas naunawaan at mas naintindihan. Ngayon ay example 3 na tayo. Solve the inequality. The given inequality 2x minus 8 all over x minus 2 greater than or equal to 0. So to solve rational inequalities, first we need to transform the rational inequalities to the form r of x over s of x greater than or equal to 0. The inequality sign can be replaced by greater than, less than, or less than or equal. Kailangan lang one side of the inequality will be equal to 0. In this process, I choose to make the right side of the inequality be equal to 0. Kung alin ang mas madali para sa inyo, pwede. Kung gusto nyo sa kaliwa ng inequality ang 0 or sa kanan. The given inequality is already in the form r of x over s of x greater than or equal to 0 or less than, greater than, or less than or equal. Now, we move to the next step to compute for the critical values. To do that, we need to equate the numerator and the denominator to 0. Unahin muna natin ang numerator. The numerator 2x minus 8 equals 0. Then add the additive inverse of negative 8 to both sides of the equation. We will get 2x equals 8. And by dividing both sides by 2, we will get the first critical value, x equals 4. Now we get the second critical value by equating the denominator to 0. Then adding the additive inverse of negative 2 both sides of the equation, we will get x equals 2, our second critical value. After that, we will plot x equals 2 and x equals 4 on a number line. Similar to this one. We We have the number line extending infinitely both sides. And here is 2 and 4. The critical points divide the number line into intervals. We have the first interval, the set of numbers to the left of 2, or set of numbers less than 2. The second interval is the set of numbers between 2 and 4. The third interval is the set of numbers to the right of 4, or the set of numbers greater than 4. We will now check the critical values if they are included in the solution set. We will substitute each value and find out if they will satisfy the inequality. Simulan natin with x equals 2. We substitute x equals 2 to the inequality. So we have 2 times 2 minus 8 all over 2 minus 2. We will get negative 4 over 0. And this is undefined. So undefined is not greater than or equal to 0. So the value 2 did not satisfy the inequality. Therefore, x equals 2 is not included in the solution. Hindi kasali. Let us now test x equals 4. The same way, we substitute 4 to the inequality. We will have 2 times 4 minus 8 all over 4 minus 2 greater than or equal to 0. Then we will get 0 is greater than or equal to 0. So 4 satisfy the inequality. Therefore, x equals 4 is included in the solution. Again, 2 is not included in the solution. 4 is included in the solution. Balikan natin yung number line. Ngayon, alam nating ang 4 ay included sa solution. So we will block in the point representing 4. Yung 2, hahayaan natin na hollow yung point dahil hindi kasama ang 2 sa solution set. Next, we will test each interval. If the set of numbers in each interval will satisfy the inequality. And if they do, the interval will be included in the solution set. Pipili tayo ng number sa unang interval sa kaliwa ng 2, in between 2 and 4, and to the right of 4. Yung mga madadaling number lang ang ating piliin. Example, to the left of 2, let us choose 1. In between 2 and 4, course, there is 3. And to the right of 4, we have 5. Now, we test each value for each interval. Again, our test points are x equals 1, x equals 3, and x equals 5. Let us test if each value will satisfy the inequality. So let us start with x equals 1. We substitute the value to each and every x in the inequality. We will get 2 times 1 minus 8 all over 1 minus 2 greater than or equal to 0. Then, we get 2 minus 8 all over negative 1 greater than or equal to 0. Next, we will have negative 6 over negative 1 greater than or equal to 0. Then, we will get the ratio of 6 greater than or equal to 0. So, the result shows that 1 satisfy the inequality because the result 6 greater than or equal to 0 is correct. That means 1 is included in the solution. We continue. Let us check the test point x equals 3. Again, by substitution, we will get 2 times 3 minus 8 all over 3 minus 2 greater than or equal to 0. We will get the result 6 minus 8 all over 1 greater than or equal to 0. Then we will get negative 2 over 1 greater than or equal to 0. Then the ratio is negative 2 greater than or equal to 0. The result, negative 2, is not greater than or equal to 0. Meaning, the value x equals 3 did not satisfy the inequality, and therefore, x equals 3 is not included in the solution. Last test point, we have x equals 5. By substitution, we have 2 times 5 minus 8 all over 5 minus 2 greater than or equal to 0. We will get 10 minus 8 all over 3 greater than or equal to 0. Then we have 2 over 3 greater than or equal to 0. So it is true that 2 over 3 is greater than or equal to 0. Therefore, the value of x, which is 5, is included in the solution. Let us now summarize our findings. So our test point, x equals 1, is included in the solution. Our critical value 2 is not included in the solution. The test point 3 is also not included in the solution. The critical value 4 is included in the solution. And our test point, x equals 5, is included in the solution. Balikan natin yung number line. Ganito ang kanyang magiging itsura. Since 1 is included in the solution and it belongs to the interval less than 2 or numbers less than 2, so that interval will be included in the solution. All numbers less than 2 will satisfy the inequality, and they are all included in the solution. The numbers from 2 to less than 4 is not included in the solution. This interval does not satisfy the inequality. And last, since 5 is included in the solution, meaning the interval greater than 4 or numbers greater than 4 or set of numbers greater than 4 will satisfy the inequality. That interval is included in the solution. To write the solution set, we will use set notation. Ganito siya isulat. Solution set is the set of numbers to the left of 2 union the set of numbers from 4 and to the right of 4. Negative infinity representing all the numbers less than 2 extending infinitely. Positive infinity representing all numbers greater than 4 extending infinitely. Again, the solution set is the set of numbers 2 to the negative infinity. 2 is not included. Union 4 to positive infinity. 4 is included. So, sana nasundan at naunawaan. Let's do example 4. Let us solve the inequality 3x plus 1 all over x minus 3 less than 4. We need to write the inequality in the form r of x over s of x greater than or equal to 0. So the inequality is not yet in this form. So we need to make the right side of the inequality be 0. So to do that, we need to add the additive inverse of negative 4 both sides of the inequality. And doing that, we will get the result 2x minus 8 all over x minus 3 minus 4 less than 0. Now we can get the least common denominator. So it is obvious that the LCD is the product of x minus 3 and 1, which is the denominator of 4. We now multiply the LCD to both sides of the equation and we will obtain the quantity 2x minus 8 minus 4 times the quantity x minus 3 all over x minus 3. 2x minus 8 over x minus 3 times the LCD. The denominator x minus 3 and x minus 3 in the LCD will be reduced to lowest term, which is equal to 1 times 1 times the numerator 2x minus 8. Then we copy the operation minus 4 times the LCD is just equal to 4 times the quantity x minus 3. Then all over the LCD, that is x minus 3 less than 0. Let us continue. by multiplying 4 and x minus 3, we will get 2x minus 8 minus 4x plus 12 all over x minus 3 less than 0. Then we combine like terms. We will have negative 2x plus 4. 2x minus 4x is negative 2x. Negative 8 plus 12 is 4. All over x minus 3 less than 0. Now we compute for the critical values or critical points. We equate the numerator to 0. Negative 2x plus 4 equals 0. Adding both sides by the additive inverse of 4, we will obtain negative 2x equals negative 4. Dividing both sides by negative 2, we will get x equals 2. Now we equate the denominator to 0. X minus 3 equals 0. Adding the additive inverse of negative 3 both sides, we will obtain x equals 3. So we have our critical values. Ilagay natin ito sa number line. Ganito ang kanyang magiging itsura. So we have the points 2 and 3. Ngayon, susubukan natin kung ang critical points or values 2 at 3 ay included sa solution. Let us test the critical values. We substitute each value of x equals 3 and x equals 2 and check if they will satisfy the inequality. So let us start with x equals 3. By substitution, we will get 3 times 3 plus 1 all over 3 minus 3 less than 4. And we will get 10 over 0 less than 4. And this is undefined. And undefined is not less than 4. Therefore, the value x equals 3 did not satisfy the inequality and it is not included in the solution. The second critical value, x equals 2, we substitute to the inequality and we will have 3 times 2 plus 1 all over 2 minus 3 less than 4. We will have 7 over negative 1 less than 4 and the ratio is negative 7 less than 4. It is true that negative 7 is less than 4, meaning x equals 2 satisfy the inequality and x equals 2 is included in the solution. Balikan natin ang number line. So, ang 3 is not included and 2 is included. So, we will block in the point representing 2 and leave the hollow point representing 3 as 3 is not included in the solution. Now, critical values or points divide the number line into intervals. The first interval, the numbers less than 2, the numbers in between 2 and 3, and the numbers greater than 3. First interval, second interval, and the third interval. Ngayon, pipili na tayo ng mga numbers or test points. Sa Sa first interval, kagaya kanina, yung mga madadaling numbers na lang. The numbers to the left of 2, so let us choose 1. In between 2 and 3, pwede na ang 2.5. And numbers greater than 3, piliin natin ang 4. Let us test now the test points. The test points again, x equals 1, x equals 2.5, and x equals 4. We substitute each value and let's find out if they will satisfy the inequality. First test point, by substitution, we will get 3 times 1 plus 1 all over 1 minus 3 less than 4. We will obtain 3 plus 1 all over negative 2 less than 4. And that is 4 over negative 2 less than 4. The ratio negative 2 less than 4 is correct. Negative 2 is less than 4. Therefore, the value x equals 1 satisfy the inequality. And x equals 1 is included in the solution. Second test point, 2.5. By substitution, we have 3 times 2.5 plus 1 all over 2.5 minus 3 less than 4. Then we will get 7.5 plus 1 over negative 0.5 less than 4. And we will have 8.5 over negative 0.5 less than 4. Getting the ratio, we will get negative 17 less than 4, which is correct. So therefore, x equals 2.5 will be included in the solution. Last test point, x equals 4. By substitution, we will have 3 times 4 plus 1 all over 4 minus 3 less than 4. We will obtain 12 plus 1 all over 1 less than 4. And we have 13 over 1 less than 4. The ratio 13 less than 4 is incorrect. Therefore, x equals 4 did not satisfy the inequality, and x equals 4 is not included in the solution. Let us now summarize our findings. We have the test point x equals 1 is included in the solution. The critical value 2 is also included in the solution. The test point 2.5 is included in the solution. The critical value 3 is not included in the solution. And the test point x equals 4 is not included in the solution. Let's go back with our number line. Ganito ang magiging itsura. Since 1, 2, and 2.5 are included in the solution, and 3 is not included in the solution, we will block in the intervals numbers less than 2 and numbers in between 2 and 3. And we now write the solution set. So we will use again the set notation, and the solution set is the set of numbers to the left of 3. 3 is not included in the solution set. Sana naintindihan at naunawaan. natulungan ko kayo sa inyong lesson. Maraming salamat sa inyong pakikinig at panonood sa ating video. Nawa ay natulungan ko kayo sa inyong lesson at nagabayan ko kayo para ito ay inyong mas maunawaan. Magkita-kita ulit tayo sa susunod na video. Muli, maraming salamat at paalam!